Alright, hello and welcome back. This current event, NONA, is slowly coming to an end, and we are slowly preparing for the next event to arrive. And well, there are a couple interesting things that are definitely going to be a really interesting topic for the next event. One of them is an upcoming collaboration that the developers will do with probably another game. And of course, the new S rank character is another Lucia, and we're going to be taking a look at how she may potentially look. But so far, NONA was one of my favorite events, and definitely a really nice change has been brought to the game with that update. The overall story was okay, the overall content of the event was pretty good. The bosses were pretty nice. We did get a lot of new really dangerous enemies that are troublesome, and people do like them or hate them, but mostly like them. And so far the game has been moving in a really good direction. Well, in a couple seconds we're going to be taking a look at a couple renders that I did find on the internet of the new character, and we're going to be taking a look at how she might potentially look, and of course the differences between the characters. That will be in the game. Well then, here we can see the top head, the head of the new S Lucia, and of course the body of the S Lucia. I think this was leaked by I don't know who leaked it, but I did find it online, and the character looks pretty good. Really interesting design choice of the character, and yeah, it is a Lucia, twin-tail Lucia, and this might very well be a good competitor to Alpha. We're going to see how that will work once she arrives in the game. And then the topic: what's her damage type going to be? Well, that's a really good question, since we still don't have the ice character. Currently, there is one stage that doesn't have a character that will benefit it, and that is the ice map, the ice stage, which is really interesting. At the moment there is currently no ice character, so there is the high probability that the S Lucia will be an ice character. But again, we will see. She might also be physical. It depends. I guess time will tell us what will happen. And of course, what I found today is, I think, a really good picture of how she will look and how the game menu will look. This is the new character. Supposedly, I think it is the legit thing, and she does look really good. Will she be in S rank? Probably. Will she be an ice character? Well, maybe. The design of the character looks really nice, and will be really interesting to see how she will compete with Alpha. If she is an S rank, it's most likely that she will be an S rank, since in the last update we only had one A rank and one A class, and that's pretty much it. But that's how the next update will look, and so far really interesting how the developers did listen to us players, and we will see what the character will be in the end. But so far we also had a couple of these leaks that you could watch, the error files, which are pretty interesting. And all of these error files pretty much tell us about what we can expect in the game, and tell us about the story, the contents, and pretty much what we might expect from the next chapter 12. In the error files, there is at least 4 of them. We could see some of the next maps that are going to be in the game. We are still in the NONA, or well, I think it's called NONA suburbs, or it's still the same city that we were in the last event, and it will be, I think, phase 2 of the same map, the same event, and this time with more maps, more enemies, more characters. And we did see the new Lucia in action there, and apparently she will fight Alpha in the next update, and it will be really interesting who will prevail, which character will be more powerful, Alpha or the S Lucia. Since we all know when they first met, Alpha pretty much wiped the floor with Lucia. Lucia lost in a fight with Alpha, and ever since then, I think she was craving for a body that will give her the power to defeat Alpha. And we will see what will happen in the next update. But overall, I personally still have really high hopes for the update. I have high hopes for the story, and I personally think that the developers will surprise us in the next update. And pretty much, I don't know if we are going to be getting another A rank. There was the talk that Q might be a new character. In one of the Q&As, they did talk about, people did ask to make Q playable, and that also counts Rosetta in. Well, there's that also that could happen. Q might be a playable character, but that's the chances of that happening aren't that big. But I'm just saying it can happen, as well as Rosetta being a playable character sometime in the future. That also can happen. But at the moment of me recording this, I didn't see any leak for either Rosetta or Q to be in the next update, but again, there is just the talk that they might be in the next update. And from the story, we are still following the commander's disappearance, whether it be willingly or whether he was kidnapped. That's kind of up to debate. So far, what I've understood, that he did go freely. Not my apologies, he was kidnapped, but we will see what will happen. He still can connect with the structures because he has that long distance communication, I guess, built into his brain, and that's kind of crazy. But we will see what the next boss will be. Will the next boss be a humanoid boss like we've seen here with Huaxu, or will the next boss be a bigger enemy? At this moment in the last update, we did have in the Eternal Engine, we did have the big mecha, which was one of the most epic bosses in the game so far. They might do something similar, boss related. We will see. I personally also expect a lot of new enemies to be popped up into the game. In this case, we did have the Hangman in the current event that was released. The Hangman, he pretty much is one of the most dangerous enemies in the game, and people don't like him at all. That enemy is truly challenging to defeat. Well then, we also did have the picture leak from the developers themselves about a collaboration of some sorts. And here on the screen you can see what appears to be Punishing Ray Raven collaborates with, at this moment to be announced, collaborator. We don't know who will they collaborate with. There is the talk that it might be one of the current top games that we have. Might be Girls Frontline, might be Arknights, but we will see. Most likely not Arknights. Could be Nier Automata, since this game has a lot of things that are similar with Nier Automata. Could be, most likely Nier Automata. And there is also the chance that they will collaborate with us on the Discord channel, since recently the developers did acknowledge and are in contact with one of the top moderators in our Discord server, and they pretty much did say that they will do some collaboration with us. So this might be it. I don't know. Could be that the developers will collaborate with our Discord server. That would be nice. I mean, we all wish for that. Well, not all, but most of us wish for that. And it will be a really interesting event for the Discord server and for the game. Will pretty much raise the popularity of our Discord server a lot. And so far that Discord server is, I think, one of my favorites. People are nice over there, everything is nice, and we all have collectively fun over there. And, well, interesting enough that the developers did notice us, since that Discord server is a international Discord server. Pretty much we have people over there from all over the world at the moment, literally from all over the world. And, well, but it's more about the collaboration with other games. Could be even Vocaloids. the Vocaloid idea is something that I was talking about earlier, pretty much in, I think, a month ago, because the game does have an aspect on music, and it does focus a lot on music. And most of the characters, there is I think there is something interesting about how the characters were named. A lot of them are named supposedly after DJs, and a lot of them were actual headphones. Kamui Lee, sometimes Liv, and Lucia were headphones. And the music in the game is also really good. They choose top tier producers in the last couple events, and might very well be a collaboration with some musician also could be happening. And more than that, what else can we expect from the developers? It's really interesting, and I really respect the developers because they actually listen to their player base, and they actually deliver what we as players expect and what we ask from them, which is a really good thing, since that means we pretty much will get what we ask for, if we ask for it, of course. And I think this next event will be really interesting. Might very well be one of the best events, best upcoming events. It depends on how things end up. I'm really curious about the collaboration thing. If they end up collaborating with our Discord server, then that would be, I think, one of the highest honors that I so far did experience in my YouTube career so far. On my last channel, I didn't experience any collaboration with actual developers. So this might very well be my first, if it happens, this might very well be my personal chance and my personal collaboration in a group with the developers. That would be really nice, and I think if that happens, we are going to be having a lot of fun. And of course, if it's another game, if they collaborate with another game, then depends which game, of course. Some people said, will they collaborate with Honkai? Well, I'm just saying, if that happens, I don't know, that would be really interesting as well. Could be, also could happen, but the collaboration thing is again up to debate. We will see. I'm looking for your own opinions in the comments. I'll be sure to read all of them. And well, I think we are slowly coming to an end. And so far, I think this next update will be really good. I have high hopes for it. So far, the developers have been absolutely nailing every update. Every update was a big improvement over the last one, and the developers truly are giving their best. And I can really respect that, and I have high respects for these developers. They are truly trying their best to deliver the best gaming experience and best content for their players, and that does deserve to be praised. Well then, I'm looking also for your own opinion on the S Lucia. What do you think? Will she be a elemental? Will she be a physical character? Will she be an A rank? Also, again, could be happening, but I doubt that she will be a class character, because we already have, in the previous update we did have one A rank, so the next one might be only one S rank, and that will be her, or that might be her, depends. Really interesting, and I like the design choice of the character. It is a combination of Lucia Dawn and the first Lucia, the B Lucia, aesthetically. She took design choices from both characters, and will be really interesting to see how her gameplay style. Will be really interesting if she will dual wield katana, since people were talking about that she might be dual wielding katanas. And in the next update, I think we will be having our showdown, the S Lucia versus Alpha. Well, which girl will prevail? Which girl will reach the commander first? We will see. Definitely, if that happens, that might very well be a boss battle, and I'm definitely looking forward for that boss battle. And of course, save up your black cards if you want to pull for S Lucia. Until the next update, I think we have at least 1 or 2 weeks, depends, maybe even less than that. I don't know when this event will be ending, but we still have time to prepare for the next event. And we will see. I'm personally, like I said, looking really forward to see the combat between these two girls. I think it will be epic. And there are also a couple of cutscenes which I might cover in the next video, because at this moment I just didn't have time to put everything in, but that's why I just decided to put the main things in. And well, the main topics of the next event will be the collaboration and the S rank, the S Lucia. And well, with that being said, it was my pleasure to give you these news. And well then, as always, I hope you enjoyed. And well, I'll see you next time. Take care.